I suppose all journalists have to be aware of the power of scoops, and because it's a good thing to get them rather than not get them. I'm not a great fan myself of, I see my job more as explaining things and going into depth than running in saying, hey, this has just happened. The trouble, though, in Westminster terms, if you get a good story from a cabinet minister, I have broken stories when I worked in Westminster. Here it's very difficult. Another word for scoop is something that nobody else is interested in. If I went to my editors and said, ahead of the foreign ministers' meeting today, hey, look, I just found out the French have got a plan that every country should take 20 people from Guantanamo Bay, they'd say, so what? Can't you say that for Monday when the story's happening? I think things here, from my point of view, and I'm sure it's different for Tony, but it is much more diary-based. It's much more of a push to get European news on, and I don't think that finding out something early, is necessarily going to convince the news desk. I could be wrong with that. I could be proved wrong, but one of the difficulties at the moment is that a constant difficulty of the structure of the EU is that they will say, haven't we heard this before? Or, but is this the final moment? And because the life cycle of legislation is so long and tortured, whereas in Britain, the first time the cabinet minister says it, that's the news point. But I think when the first time the commission says it, that's a good news point. But it's difficult to, they're not interested in the fine detail, and that's where scoops would